In today's video, I want to show you the Tekmomo Magsafe charging mount. This mount is new and is an upgrade over the previous one I showed you 2 years ago. Now that one only did MagSafe, that's it. So you can mount your phone safe and secure without any issue. This one adds charging functionality. So for those of you that need to charge while you're on the go and you need to mount your phone safe and secure, this is going to be perfect for those individuals. Now before I go any further and talk about this mount, I just want to mention the link for this mount is in the product shelf down below and also in the video description. Also, if you use the code YouTube, you can get 10% off. Now that doesn't only apply to this charging mount, that applies to anything in my online store. So definitely keep that in mind. Code YouTube, 10% off. Now one thing I want to address right away is for those of you that might be confused as to whether or not a vent mount is actually good or not. There's a lot of worry that people have that the heater in the wintertime is going to be blowing directly on their phone and it's going to cause some kind of issue. You know, that at one point was an issue, but when we had vent mounts that were sitting right on top of the vent to where your phone was like right in front of the AC vents, and if you didn't shut off the air of the vent, then yes, it could have been a problem because your phone is sitting right there. So that's why one of the first things I solved was to make sure that there's enough distance between where the mount sits and all the distance in between the vent. So that way you have plenty of space in between for all of your air to circulate so that you don't run into an issue with heat in the winter. I've been using this charging one, I've been using the previous one in wintertime, and not only me, many of my friends have been using it, and this solves that issue. You don't have to worry about it because the vent piece is what is crucial in this entire design. Now speaking of the vent piece, that's what I want to talk about first, because whether you buy this new charging one or you buy the older one, you get this long vent piece. This is what causes your phone to sit plenty of a distance off of the vent so that whether you're using the AC or the heater, it's not going to be any issue whatsoever. So now the actual vent piece is like this. It's got this retractable vent clip. So this is what actually retracts. So when you turn the dial right here, it is going to extend. This part is going to latch onto the vent blade, and then you simply are going to tighten it down. Back here you've got a soft touch pad, so that way it's not going to damage your vent or dashboard. And then you have this ball joint. This is what connects it to your main piece right here. Now over the ball joint you're going to put this ring. This is the locking ring. So you can do this, and then your ball joint is going to snap into the back of the mount. Now again, this is the charging mount, but these steps are the same whether you have the charging mount or you have the regular standard one. So once you have it snapped in, all you've got to do is tighten the locking ring. Now before you tighten this down very tight, just find your exact position that you need the mount to be in. As you can see, this rotates in every direction, so you can get that perfect viewing angle. I like to always keep it so the phone is kind of tilted towards me, and you'll be seeing clips which show you exactly how I set it up. Now that we've talked about the vent piece, the next thing I want to talk about is this actual charging mount portion. So on the front here you have a soft touch pad, you've got the logo, and then you've got magnets all in this MagSafe ring right here. On the back side, what is crucial is you'll notice all these little dots. These are for heat. So this way the mount can get rid of heat. And this is one of my favorite things about this mount, because if you watch my channel, I care a lot about battery life. I care a lot about heat being generated when charging and all of that. So that was one of the crucial things I wanted to make sure was in place. This charges at 5 to 7.5 watts. And it's not the fastest. It's just like the other mounts I've shown you from ESR or Pitaka. But what's great here is that this produces very little heat. So you'll get a slow and consistent charge without any kind of heat or damage to your phone. Even in the winter time when I had the heat running, I had it going, I was charging with this while I was testing this out. I never had any issue whatsoever. So now that we know about the base, the locking ring, and the vent piece, all that's left to do is to simply plug it in with the included cable. Now this cable you can plug in into either a cigarette lighter port, so if you've got the cigarette lighter charger in your car, you can plug in there, or like I've done, I've actually plugged it into the included USB-C port in my center console. So either one will work. There's no like specific requirement that it has to be. So any kind of car charger or USB-C port in your car will work just fine. The cable is long enough so that if you're setting up with the cigarette lighter or if you're running it to your center console, you shouldn't have any problem in terms of the cable's length. Now another thing I want to talk about is how secure this holds your iPhone. So whether you have a mini or you have a Pro Max, it's not going to matter. The magnets in here are really strong. I go to downtown DC and I drive there on a daily basis. And like any downtown city, there are plenty of potholes. The roads aren't the best. And as much as they rock my car, I've never had any kind of issue, nor have any of my friends had any kind of issue with the mount failing and the phone dropping off or anything like that. So if you're looking for a really secure mount, trust me, this is even better than the previous one, which was already secure. Now the last thing I want to talk about is charging. Now if you have a mini, Pro Max, Pro, whichever iPhone you have, as long as it's MagSafe compatible, you're not going to have any issues with it charging and locking into place. Now in terms of charging, it is not the fastest. It's 5 to 7.5 watts, so it's not a crazy fast charge, and that's going to depend on what your phone's doing. So I use Apple CarPlay. I have directions on all the time. I have music going all the time, and my phone stays on lock, and despite that, I'm able to, in about 30 minutes, still able to charge my phone 20 to 30%, even despite using it for Apple CarPlay, music, etc. So if your phone is just sitting on there, you're going to get a nice, slow, consistent charge that is not going to heat up your phone whatsoever. That is probably one of my favorite things, is that regardless of what I've been doing, whether I've been using my iPhone or whether it's just been sitting on the charging mount, it has not produced any kind of heat that would cause any concern. And that's what I've been happiest about, and that was something that was important to me. So honestly, if you're looking for a good mount that has a strong and secure hold, has a good charging system, is not going to heat up your phone, then this is one that you should definitely try. It's really a good mount, and I've been so happy with the results that I've gotten from both the original one and now this one. And I really think that if you were to give it a try, then you'll really love it. Now don't forget, again, I'll mention YouTube. Use that code for that 10% discount so that you could save a little bit of money. And on top of that, don't forget that it applies to any items in my online store. So you can buy a couple of them. The Anywhere mount is really cool, which I use to mount my phone in different places. Then I also have the MagSafe battery pack. So there are a bunch of cool accessories there for you to check out. And to all of you that have supported me throughout these last 2 years, I'm really grateful for your business. If you go on my website, you'll see that anybody that has bothered or taken the time to leave a review, at the bottom, I've always responded to them, and that is me personally. I respond to them because I really appreciate your business. So thank you so much for your support, whether it's been through my channel or through my online store. I'm really, truly grateful for it. So like always, I really hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, drop them down below. Otherwise, check the link in the description and get yourself a nice, secure charging mount. Thank you, take care, and I will see you in the next video.